What? We are live on the internets now.
So that's what I plan to do for Good Friday.
It's serene.
Those are my Easter plans,
Y'all,
guys.
we are still doing sound check. Let me tell you, this is definitely one you're going to want to pay for. I'll put a price tag on this one and send it out because holy shit. You think you know, but you have no idea.
That's fucking brilliant.
So
See, that's why I held on to it. Was it worth the wait, Mr. Graham, for me to tell you that?
We are 20 minutes late because I had a story and Houston had a story that we could not talk about
On the interwebs.
So we go to the reception afterwards. Do you want to tell everybody
let's
about
backtrack to greeting people.
Okay.
And so,
back at the funeral.
Katie's there. So Christy's husband drove up with the kids that night. I think he got to there about midnight on Friday. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday afternoon drove back to Norfolk because he was being deployed and he's on the George W. Bush right now.
Right.
Because, Brant loves Bush. Yeah. And so...
Ew. I didn't need to know that about Lieutenant Redfish. I didn't know that's why you called her Redfish.
Well, fire crotch is what Kenny used to call her. She hated that. So Christy and Katie, who coincidentally went to Target to get black dresses for the funeral, and bought the exact same dress as Sam said. They looked sister wives as fuck.
Look like sister
Very
wives.
pale.
Fucking hysterical.
Christy and Katie come together, and they come with Christy's kids. Danny's coming later with Katie's kids. And so Katie's got the baby, and Christy's got Stella. Mm-hmm. Frank's family, who hasn't seen the girls since they were babies.
Yeah.
I think Christy was like 3, and Katie was like 5 the last time they've seen them.
Right.
Walk and look at Katie, walk past Katie to Christy. Oh, are you the Navy daughter? Mm-hmm. Don't even acknowledge Katie. Just walk right past her to Chris. That happened more than once.
A bunch of times.
And then, of course, the rabbi, Katie, gives him his first grandchild. Christy, lieutenant commander in the naval. Kenny, an accountant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Katie gave birth. So that's why I wanted to bring up the class.
patriarchy lives!
That's why I blacked out in my eulogy and I brought up the class ring. And I don't even think Katie was in the room, but I wanted to Kate is a scientist and works at University of Maryland. She's more than just a birther, but...
But he still gave me the ring.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I have it sitting over there in the coconut shell.
But you were the first one that graduated from University of Maryland as well.
I was his favorite.
Yeah.
Well, Christy. After Christy, I was his favorite.
I was gonna say you're the only one who graduated from University of Maryland, right?
I'm the only one that went there. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else.
Katie went to Salisbury.
Let me tell you something.
And
I'm the only one that got in.
Her grad school was Towson.
I'm
right?
also the only one that got in.
Her grad school was Towson too,
Yep.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I've never had a stepchild. Mm-hmm. Okay. I only sire children.
Mm-hmm.
Only sire girls.
Yeah.
At least Frank and sire a boy.
All right.
Well, I mean, hold on. We're stumping on the lead there. Yeah, you only sire girls. For how much longer?
72 hours.
Okay, exactly.
A lot happens in 72 hours. Shit.
I did announce to the Irish Channel today that if anybody wanted to go, it was going to be your last chance here.
Yeah, this was it.
No one jumped.
Yeah.
Sadly.
All right, so then we make it through the eulogies. We make it through all of that. And now it's time to head to the lovely restaurant that Sam has picked out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I walk in.
Mind you, Sabbath, Saturday, this is sight unseen. It's what's kosher.
Let me tell you how I described it to Leslie, because cousin Leslie met me outside, and she's like, what are you doing outside? I'm like, I just needed a moment. We're in a deli in a liquor store. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
We're at a takeout counter in a liquor store.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pikesville.
in Pikesville.
Oh, were you
right
at
on
a
the city line.
wine merchant?
No, not wine merchant. That's closer to Hamden area.
No, it's wine.
KB.
That's wine source.
Okay, a wine merchant is actually that I know the one you're talking about. Wine merchant, that's up more by
Falls Road.
Yeah, Falls Road.
No,
This
I
is
did,
down
I did buy a bunch
Pikesville.
of kosher wine. He ended up with a kosher bourbon.
Kosher, not kosher bourbon, kosher brandy.
Wine source that's in Hamden has the full deli, but they don't make sandwiches. They just do the meats.
So this is a full restaurant, but it's a deli counter. It's a carry-out counter.
I got you.
And then they
Yeah.
had a bunch of tables as well. They have a whole bunch of tables.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah. No.
you could
It
sit
ended
in there
up
and
working
eat.
out great because then we didn't have to worry about being loud. We didn't have to worry about kids. Everyone just walked in,
move
we
around, go
auctioned
wherever the fuck
food.
you
Of course.
want.
Yeah. No,
But
great.
I'm just like outside laughing, and I was just like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "It's a deli and a liquor store."
Yeah, it's KB Grill and Walk. So here's the other thing too.
Really good food though.
Is
Grill and Walk.
Hold on, let me finish. It's all kosher. American food, Chinese food, Israeli food. If you can't find something, fuck you. I've done all I can do for you.
You know the greatest part about Billy Hahn's kosher walk or whatever place you were at is the other thing that's awesome about that is that's where Jewish people typically go to celebrate Christmas is at the Chinese restaurant.
Yep, exactly.
I do believe. I think
Right after they go to the movies.
Yep.
his sister got a sandwich, but I believe the rest of his family all got Chinese.
Yeah, almost everybody got Chinese. I got Israeli. I did schnitzel, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Isn't
and then
Schnitzel from Austria?
it also has Israeli roots as well.
Okay.
So it was
Who do
a
you
chicken
think brought
schnitzel.
it to Austria?
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know.
So, but it was schnitzel with like a salad that had pickles and cucumbers and stuff in it, and then
Being sad enough to pass that amount of dough through a strainer, it could literally be from anywhere over there.
little hummus, little sauce, little like kind of like a pita bread that's Israeli that was baked fresh, and that was fucking awesome. Yeah, it was. The food was fucking amazing, and
No, it sounds delicious.
yeah, it worked out. It actually worked out very, very well. And then also the Frank's side of the family was very appreciative that took the time to make sure we did something kosher, and
That's
one
nice.
of them was like, yeah, I've been here in my childhood.
Yeah,
This is great.
David said that
He was
they
like,
had
"This
come
is
there
awesome."
when they were younger and had great memories there. And I was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and even if he didn't, David's the kind of guy that was so kind that he would say that because he felt my anxiety initially going, fuck.
That's very cool.
And again, I'm just
Ended up
trying to
being
find
perfect.
something.
Ended
trying
up
to find
being
something.
perfect.
And in that area, pretty much everything was that. There was no actual sit down style restaurants
Nice.
that were kosher. They were all kind of like that. So
Why is this so
so
bright
fuck it.
on
I
this
don't know why.
Because
it's so
you're
bright.
fucking going nuts with that thing. I'm about to have a seizure.
I'm trying to turn it down.
Thank God I don't have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Clicking that button faster than a wank video.
So so in conclusion,
Better than a snuff film filmed in a cemetery. What?
Mel, anything else you'd like to add? Because I'm going to take us out for the end of sound check.
No, it's just been the fucking weirdest 96 hours. I don't know.
Hey, can I pass on something?
Please.
Your husband, 9.5 years ago, to me, said, it's a terrible club to be in.
Oh, am I allowed? Because he earlier said I wasn't allowed in the club. So we need to have a discussion about that.
Her real father's still alive.
Fuck you.
Jesus
I
Christ.
know, right?
You insensitive cunt.
You insensitive motherfucking cunt.
That's bad.
I stand by it.
He stands by it.
He raised her, though.
Every science
Frank
fair,
came into
every
her
play.
life before I was born.
He's been in my life for 46 years.
And she's only about to
I
be
was
49 again.
4 years old. I don't have any memories before Frank.
She's putting a little bit of a filter over this, but okay. I will be the bad guy.
Anyway,
You've been around me long enough. I think it's a cunt move on your part, Houston.
it's a terrible club to be in, but it's a club nonetheless, and you're not alone. We love you. We're here for you. You ever need to talk, you got us. We're not going to reach out. We all go through it our own way.
No, it is. It's complicated because Sam's
But
right. It
your
is
husband said it to me, and I'll say it to you.
a weird club.
And I've got a step parent,
Yeah.
and I do feel like they are a parent to me. So I get it. I love my stepmother just like I love my dad.
Sam
my mom.
just doesn't
It
want to give Frank and mine's relationship the same level of him and his dad.
No, it has nothing to do with
Okay.
that. That's completely different. That's apples and oranges. I don't think anything of that.
I mean,
it's not a
Steve
competition.
could be dead right now. He could have died 3 weeks ago. I have no fucking clue.
I have
It's not a competition.
I have no idea where that man even is. He could
I
have
also
been
have
dead
a
for
really-
a year, and I have no
You
idea.
will know because your mom will know. Your mom will be the one who tells you because your mom will know.
We are. How very MAGA of you, Houston, from Taylor Thompson, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
It's not a traditional nuclear family. It's
Taylor-
getting dozed.
All right,
Taylor,
here's a,
just wait till you listen to all of Soundcheck.
Here's-
You're welcome.
here's a question.
You're welcome.
I'm not afraid to say out loud on the internets.
Mm-hmm.
How long before her first husband slides into her DMs?
Won't be
Because
long.
it has happened over the years.
Talking about Jan?
Yeah, I have not spoken to the man in 15 years. As far as I'm concerned, he's not part of my life. I've read him out.
Yeah. Has it been that long since you've known Jenna? Maybe more like 10.
Okay, if we want to count up the amount of time he's actually been in my life,
Yeah, not long.
I think my father's actually been an active member of my life fewer than 5 years.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. So
But
go
he
back.
Does
he
reach
slides
in,
into
he
Jan's
slides
DMs.
into Jan's DMs all the time.
Can I end sound check?
No, I'm ending sound check, but go ahead and say what you got to say.
You might reconsider. Because who knew Jan had the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip?
Yeah, okay, well.
50 years of reaching out in the DMs? Fucking hell.
If you're not
Go
a
on,
Patreon,
Jen.
if you're not a Patreon person, you should definitely check out this week's episode of Soundcheck because Mel is going to is going to do it at like a one-off buy, and I would, Mr. Graham, should somebody want to find Patreon, how do they go about doing it?
You fucking look at Jan's pussy.
Well, you know what her porn name is, Brownie 16th Street.
Okay. Do the plug, bitch.
It's fucking locked up tight. You gotta pay to get in there. You know what I'm saying?
Do the plug, bitch.
Much like the story you'll hear on the Soundcheck when you log on to patreon.com
I really hope this is all
/DUFootball
past
show.
her bedtime.
Patreon.com /DUFootball show. Please don't step on the link. Mel, thank you. Just sign up to that $5 tier, and you'll be more than welcome to join us for all of our extra content. And we will greatly appreciate you. That can't happen. Nope. I'll electrocute myself.
Needs that for fucking, you're just, Jesus, woman. All right.
There we go. We were getting some shadow.
Now I'm blind.
Friendship Hebrew Cemetery in Baltimore. Highly recommend.
5 out of 5.
Fuck you.
We'll go back.
Fuck you both. Taylor gets the last line.
I have to take a piss.
Jan, she's glad all over.
Oh, brilliant.
There you go. Sound check's over.
All right, you go to the restroom there, Mr. Graham, and
That is a 50-minute sound check, y'all.
well, I mean, injury time's going to be like fucking 20 minutes at the most.
Sure, Billy. I'll be emailing that to you because Facebook would not let me send that link.
Would you like a little bit of the bourbon on ice, Mel?
No.
Okay, there will be Irish whiskey later if you want. That.
Yes, I'm an Irish whiskey.
Very good. Yes.
I'm glad Graham called you a cunt because I didn't want to have to.
Okay. That's fine. I'll stand by it. I'm good.
That's fine.
I'll be the villain. I'm fine with that.
It's a complicated, but I don't feel like I will ever be part of the club then.
Yeah. No debate to that.
Yeah.
I could see you there with that. You know, I mean,
we've always known things weren't
you,
equal.
You said it in your eulogy. You said I've never really called him father. I always just called him Frank.
Yeah,
Like,
that doesn't mean that's not what he was.
Right, that's fair enough. Graham, you're definitely gonna want to drink some water out of that, out of your cunt cup.
I figured.
Da, da,
Especially since Mel
da.
put that heater right next to it.
Yeah, no shit. All right.
It was a 50-minute sound check,
It was
y'all.
a 50-minute soundtrack. By the way, Graham, we're still live on the internet here. You know.
Charge everybody that already pays for it $2.50 extra because it was a half hour longer than it normally is.
Yeah, but injury time's going to be like under 20
it
minutes.
was a joke.
Yeah.
We're not going to charge them extra.
Alrighty.
But if we could.
We could. I sent today.
But if it was
Is that really
morally
bothering
okay, it's bright.
All right. I don't know how to.
You normally have it here.
I know, but it was making a shadow over there.
Just see what you think.
You only get half your face.
So
It's really not a big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. Your whole face
So
goes away.
try here. I just adjusted the mic so it's not in the way.
So listening to
No, like it's Dark Side of the Moon. We got Dark Side of your
Sorry,
face.
hold on. I'm sorry. This is this
No,
thing.
go ahead.
It normally isn't this bright, just so you know.
I did charge it.
And you normally have it like not like directly in my eyes.
Okay.
For real.
Normally, I have a dad.
yeah, okay.
And normally we did too. Some of us longer than others.
The Blue Frontier, which is the new version of the American Toffee podcast.
The Blue Frontiers.
Yeah, because remember, it kind of got all shut down. One of the original members just kind of took away everything and just closed up shop. So 2 of the 3 members, Ryan being one of them, and Sean, who sat in on our show.
Yeah. Still, again, thank you for that, bud.
Is another one of the hosts as well.
Right.
Well, today I was listening to
how's
their
that for
show,
you?
That's
and
better.
on Apple Podcasts, they ended up having 4 2-commercial breaks added to their show, and you could tell it's like they probably wouldn't know that they had it unless they're sound checked themselves. So I sent them a message, just like, "Hey boys, just want to let you know, there was 4 commercial breaks, 2 commercials in each one. So, check your account, because I'm sure there's like a whole
$1.50 in there or whatever.
$8.56 for you to split 3
Right.
ways, right?
Yeah.
and then telling them come on, man, that like $2.37 is fucking life changing. That's why we do this shit, right?
It's adorable. You think it would be $2?
Well, the fact that it was that many commercials, because I was basing it off of what ours was, which was only commercials at the beginning, and that was it. And it was 2
Right.
commercials at the beginning. So I imagined it was more because it was 8 total commercials being done.
Bro, we're still living off that fucking
This is why we offer it
$1.18.
This is why we offer it commercial free to our Patreon subscribers.
$1.18 split 3 ways.
If anyone's going to waste 30 seconds of your life, it's going to be us.
Exactly.
I told you we should have signed up to Acast.
All right, are we ready to do a show, Jackaloons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's good for them, by the way. Congratulations. They got ads.
They've had ads before when was the old podcast, but that's
And
the
that's
kind
the
of
new
thing-
one. Is just the maiden voyage of advertising.
It's just one of those kind of things you want to let people know, because
For the corporate man,
they
you
don't
know?
know if they sound check or not or anything like that.
Club of the people, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Advertising for the corporate man.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Tesla ad, I bet.
This is Alan with Toon Army Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
I gotta give them their flowers, man. That's our boy.
course.
They've been 70 fucking years since a domestic cup.
Yeah, no, I know. And for the last fucking, 19 hours, 24 hours, all we've heard about is how Dan Burns' dad's wanking off to his son's goal and all this kind of stuff. I'm fucking over it.
White
Let's
Lotus?
start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, a man who enjoys lovemaking in conventional places, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
Not for much longer, man. Honestly, as this comes out here tonight, well, Tonight might be one of the last few times it comes out properly. Thursday, get the old vasectomy, man. So I'll be into unconventional lovemaking soon enough.
Yep.
Actually,
and of course on the one,
be using my thumbs and shit.
Amazingly fading the music down to nothing. Our producer Mel, how you doing over there, producer Mel?
Just rethinking our entire marriage. How are you tonight?
You knew what you were getting into when you married me.
I think I did.
You woman, I laid out my whole life story for
discover
you.
more and more every day.
We all know I'm a fucking deviant.
Hey,
Yeah.
imagine going to lay a wreath, Mel.
Shut up. Shut up. Sam and myself both work. Come on, get to the next bit.
Actually, I'll do this part real quick. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Sign up to that $5 tier and you'll understand that joke.
$5 has never been more valuable.
It is brilliant. And if you just want a taste of injury time, I think Mel's putting a one-time price on this one.
Oh, $5.
Oh, there you go.
$4. I'll do it for $4.
It's worth it. It's
Wreaths
fucking
aren't the
worth
only
it.
thing that get laid at Friendship Cemetery. We're going to the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com. To get in touch via email, and after you listen to that Patreon special to find out what the fuck we're talking about, you can hit us up on the Better Business Bureau and give us a good or a bad rating.
And
I think I know which way you're going to go.
And, of course, everybody, do be sure to take a second, review the show, share with your footballing friends.
Oh, I never checked.
Make sure you put 5 stars, Pwn. That's what we want. Hashtag Pwn.
Hashtag
Because that's what we all live for is Graham's Pwn.
Come on.
Especially Graham. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry, both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Graham, you probably shouldn't be looking at reviews because you got a different review to read that's right in front of your face. I can only stall for you so much longer before you open the fucking magazine.
It's right here,
The
brother.
Whiskey
Just
Advocate list
relax.
continues. What are we enjoying
It's
tonight?
right here. Just calm down. It's number 6, and it's the Bookers. And I've got it right here. It's the Springfield batch, which is the 2024-01 batch. Should run you around 90. I think it cost us $115 at the end of the day.
Yeah, right around 115.
So we got it for about $5 more than suggested retail. Obviously, the taxes then took it above 100. Not so bad actually. Considering this batch had been long since done.
Yeah. This is one of those I got lucky. I went into a store we know fairly well, Jason's, and they had multiple marks on the back, and I was like, "Do you have the 2401?" And they were like, "Let's see." I goes like, "It's a purple label." They're like, "Yep." I'm like, "Need that bottle.
Give me that." Yeah. They rated it a 94 at the Whiskey Advocate. The blurb comes from David Fleming, but I should also mention, because I failed to do so, that it is 124.5 proof. And here he goes. Booker's got the year off to a grand start with his first batch of 2024, named for Booker Noe's, N-O-E''S, Booker Noe's hometown in Kentucky. The whiskey is comprised of 4 parcels from Beam's Clermont warehouses, averaging 7 years and 7 months in age. In classic Booker's fashion, it's a big one with plenty of heat, but the flavors burst through the proof to offer nougat, vanilla, warm chocolate, and sweet orange. Balanced by dry herbs, oak, and tobacco. Absolutely fucking get wood and tobacco big time. Leading to an explosive finish. While the Booker's releases always excel, this one emerged as a top 20 favorite, packing in loads of pleasure.
It's really good.
Yeah, I get straight away, I get vanilla, I get orange, I get oak, and I get tobacco. Out of all of the descriptors that were laid out, that is what stands out to me big time. Neat and on ice.
Yeah, I haven't taken a sip on ice yet. So one of my knocks on Bookers, because there are people that are massive Bookers heads, right? Because I've always found they're always very high proof. Like 124 is kind of low.
Right, for these. Yeah, I
They
think we
have
did
some-
one of these before. It was like 137 or something.
We've done a bunch of little books, but not any just straight up Bookers, which I've always enjoyed the little books, but the Bookers I've never been a massive fan of because I find that they can be a little grippy on the back palate with that heat.
Right.
This is big, but it has none of that. It is motherfucking delightful. This is a phenomenal whiskey. You're not going to be able to find this exact expression unless it's a Dusty on the shelf.
Right.
But, they normally do 4 releases a year, and they're not that terribly hard to find, and they're not that terribly over market normally.
Right.
They're normally right around market.
Well, because they do it right. They release enough of it that everyone's able to get a bottle or two or
right.
whatever, and people can't way overcharge for it because everyone's fucking got one.
This is one of those ones that if we couldn't have found it, we would have been able to find a taster very easy because someone would have had a bottle.
Yeah,
Somebody would have had
absolutely.
a bottle and made sure we got this specific batch.
100%.
But wow, this is really
But we
good.
were lucky we found one ourselves anyway, so it was fun. It all worked out.
Yeah, that day was, I remember because we always do the list, and this list came out, and it was a lot of kind of rarer, harder to get stuff when we were looking at the first part of the top 10, and you and I were like, how the fuck are we going to do this one?
And we were done faster than any other list we've ever been done.
And then there was that one, I was out one
Besides
day.
that Glen
And
Morangi.
I got this one, and I got number 5 at the same place. And it was like I think that day I got 1, 2, 5, this 6. Like I just suddenly was pulling everything by the end of the day.
Yeah, but this list was fairly accessible, but still too expensive for the spirit of the list, in my opinion.
Yeah, the back half of it was fine, except for there were a couple that were just way out of bounds on their price point that I thought was just too much. But for someone who is not typically an overly huge fan of Bookers, this Bookers is
That's very
fucking
good.
exceptional.
Get a little
Really
cinnamon
good.
up front now, too.
Yeah, really, really, really good.
It's good. And the water's opening up a touch. I get a little cinnamon. I get a little toffee now as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of caramelly, but
Yeah, the ice is
seaside
lovely.
caramel. Yeah.
All right, well, then
It's good.
Let's get into it, Mr. Graham. Have a good show.
You as well. Push the buttons good.
Look at that, being all nice. Graham trying to be nice. Mel over there questioning why she fucking married me. It has been 70 long years for Newcastle to win a domestic cup, while Liverpool has seen the chance of a treble disappear in less than a week's time. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1 in the EFL Carabao Cup. Newcastle really was fucking saving it for the Carabao Cup. We were all, for the past couple of weeks, we're like, are they holding back? Are they trying to keep people healthy? Are they like it? They sure as fuck were.
They listed a lot of injuries that either turned out not to be injuries or these people decided to play through them.
Yeah.
The last few weeks. I will say, Newcastle, were also winless in the last 17 straight games against Liverpool in all competitions.
Yeah.
To overturn that sort of form with, obviously at the top end of the Premier League, you're playing each other a bit more often, right?
Of course.
You got your 2 league games. You probably have a tournament game in there somewhere or another, here or there. You've got preseason. You've got in Europe, in recent seasons for Newcastle, that kind of stuff. 17 times is a pretty big sample size for largely the same group of players. Especially for the last half of those 17. And they just put it all at their mind. They just absolutely put it all out their mind.
This was a great weekend, obviously, for Newcastle. A very, very bad week for the Reds.
Yeah, it's hard because there's a lot of things that happen. My Arsenal season has fallen apart more times than I like to count this same week.
Yep.
It's, it's a busy time of year for a lot of different competitions, which is why you don't always play Premier League games so often, right? You're getting into the thick of the FA Cup. You've got, the Champions League now, the kind of playoff for the 16, then the 16. But in the old days, it was the round of 16 and the quarters were handled by this stage.
Right, of course.
You've got the League Cup final. Obviously, we're coming up on next weekend being the sixth round of the FA Cup. Mm-hmm. So you've got all these things. So your season can absolutely go awry in about 7 days.
Right.
Like completely awry. And again, it's happened to Arsenal. It's very funny happening to somebody else. I'm very happy. I'm here for it. But it's something I am familiar with.
Do you think not just going out of the Champions League, but the way they went out of the Champions League in their building, do you think that affected them going into this match against Newcastle?
No. What I do think, though, is the questions that Mo Salah may be having about his contract now.
Right.
This was obviously a piss poor week. I think this cast doubts over Virgil van Dijk, who is also out of contract in the summer. Two players, obviously, they're both most sellable assets.
I think he's got one more year, and it's Trent that's completely out of contract. All three are completely out of contract.
I read an article today that Virgil van Dijk said his future will be decided before the end of the season.
Very good.
He's got news.
Got it.
Don't know what that means. It was cryptic. My point is I think in terms of a storyline, I think this week has more to do with, oh fuck, would they rather move on now?
Right.
As a club. Mm-hmm. In terms of one particular result in Arne Slot's mind affecting the game plan for this game, no. Mm-hmm. They've been the gold standard all season.
Clearly the best team in Europe. They've been the best team in Europe until they weren't.
And he's Dutch.
Yeah.
I don't think he said, well, we're going to change everything.
Yeah.
No.
Fair.
We got here by being this way. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Part of the reason Pep's had a bit of a downfall this season, right, is trying to do the same thing with weaker players. Granted, any of those players will walk into anyone else's starting 11. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, of course.
But what I'm saying is that he, that system is so rigorous, is so defined, is so hard to do. You need a certain level to do it. And if those players aren't available, even if they're your own backups, that system is not going to be up to snuff. I don't see Arne Slot going, fuck that. We'll come on to it here in a moment, I'm sure, like tactics in the game, but like Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think was a huge miss in this game.
Well, what I was going to say here is much like where we were talking about last week with Nuno and the masterclass that Forrest had against City. This first half was an Eddie Howe fucking special.
Oh, big time.
Liverpool didn't manage a fucking shot on target.
No. And this is where I am going to bring in the Trent point.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Kwanzaa, good defender. Mm-hmm. Right, quality defender. We've seen it time again in the Premier League. He's come on for Konate when he's been in trouble with cards. He's at center back, obviously, which is his preferred position. But he's played a few times at right back in notable games as well. And he just doesn't offer the same passing range. He doesn't offer the same attacking threat, right?
Right.
Trent, it's nuanced, and we all like to make fun of it because they do get beat on that side a lot. But Trent's best defense is his offense.
Right.
It's his making those wingers and those left backs for the opposition think about is he going to counter? Because he's quick.
And typically the way you beat him is by pinning him back and making him have to defend.
He's decent on the ball, right? in terms of like dribbling. He's decent. He could beat you, on a good day.
Yeah.
He's fast again. Like I said, he's got a range of passing you have to be weary of. That makes you hesitate, right? As an opposing player, knowing this about him. So do they get so much joy pressing? Because that's where Newcastle got a lot of their excitement in the first half.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Was pressing Liverpool and forcing them into mistakes. If you have Trent Alexander-Arnold as another quality, especially long distance passer, another quick body on the field, does Newcastle play that differently?
They could have, yeah.
Right, that could change the game. In my opinion, it could have changed the game. It may have not led to the dominance that Newcastle showed in the first half.
Well,
had he been on the field.
So, but he was not on the field. So, and Newcastle take full advantage of it. And you could just tell
Livramento was phenomenal down that side, by the way.
You figure all they're doing is waiting for their moment, and they get their moment. And with the Dan Burn goal, I loved the commentary, dying commentary. The color man goes, I mean to say he's only the tallest guy on the field.
Alex McAllister was marking him, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, just dead away. I mean, it was a perfect header. It was
terrible.
There's nothing Kelleher could do. Like, I mean,
it was a great header.
It was a perfect header. But also, how the hell do you let the tallest guy on the fucking field get a clean fucking header? And how's a little fucker covering?
Well, but that's the thing. That was the third Dan Burn shot.
Yeah.
Second on target.
Yeah.
And McAllister was marking him for all three of them. Because clearly the plan was just block him off.
Right.
You're strong. You got a low center of gravity. Upend this cunt.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Then we should worry about it because the ball was back in the net.
Yeah, because Dan Burn jumped. And then what is Alexis McAllister going to do?
I love that. That's a show title. Dan Burn jumped.
What's he going to do? He only comes up to his fucking bottom of his man tit. Anyway, if Dan Burn jumps, it's lucky his penis didn't slide into his mouth at the same time.
That's for injury time, stud. Settle down.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's the height difference.
I know. The SS is like
Dan Burn jumped.
There's logistics.
Alexis McAllister.
Yeah. There's logistics. It almost looked like they took a quick lead in the second half, but goal gets called off. I'm not so sure Isaacs was off. I think it's the other player that was blocking the vision of Kelleher that ultimately
ruled it out.
Yeah. Even though Kelleher did make the save, but I think that's ultimately what did it.
Well, there was a couple of Newcastle chances, towards the kind of later middle stage of the first half, where they were pressing. They were showing Liverpool their intent. Really,
they were there to play. Because we talk about when they played them just a few weeks prior. Isaac was hurt and didn't play, and they kind of showed nothing at all. And we even said, "Are they showing nothing because they're saving it for the cup?" They sure as fuck were saving it for the fucking cup.
Absolutely. So we get the Dan Burn goal, but like I said, by the way. This is what I mean by kind of being a little cagey, feeling stuff out, or seeing what's going on. Newcastle had the better. Dan Burn had fucking 3 shots before halftime.
Yep, absolutely.
Dan Burn, a defender, had 3 shots before halftime.
Well, and then
it just shows, kind of Newcastle's willingness and desire, where defenders are getting in these positions. The forward players are forcing the issue and drawing fouls in these positions, forcing corners in these positions. And Liverpool, we see, didn't do any of that, like you said, in that first half. And really, for large portions of the second half, didn't show that either.
Well, and here's what, so we mentioned the goal gets called off. Short-term memory, basically 3 minutes later, ball in the back of the net, 2-0. Again, Isaac puts it away.
A goal Alan Shearer would have been delighted with. fucking
Absolutely.
quick reactions, poacher's goal, good goal, strong foot, great balance.
Oh, yeah.
Everything about it was brilliant.
Perfect. And finally, when the first shot on target does come for Liverpool, hell of a save from Pope to be able to just not see a shot the entire game and then to have to make a reaction save where you're going one way and you have to throw your arm in the other way to get it over the post.
Well, we say this all the time about, like, why didn't Ben Foster get more England caps? He saved more balls than Joe Hart did at the time. Like,
Right.
why did that happen? The mental aspect of being a goalkeeper, and you expressed this at the time when I asked the question, the mental aspect of being a goalkeeper is so much more important than the actual skill of it.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
You have to be capable, obviously. You have to, be able to do what you see in your mind. But to stay switched on when you're in a good team is really fucking hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
So Ben Foster, who's seeing 20 shots a game, fine. But Joe Hart at the time was at Man City, saw 3 shots a game, made all 3 saves.
Right.
Ben Foster saw 25 shots, let in 3 goals.
Right. Right. Precisely.
Even though he made some great saves and probably deserved it. So that's, it's a huge, huge thing. The goalkeepers there.
The key things is, Mo and Diaz, and they were completely shut down. Completely shut down.
To be fair to Liverpool, Kelleher had to make a fair few saves as well.
Oh, this could have been more than 2.
This
could have been a lot more than 2.
Very good, Kelleher. Again, I mean, he's also said that he wants to move in the summer. I heard this past week.
Of course, he wants to be a starting keeper. So,
but also maybe unsettles. I heard this prior to the Cup final. Maybe unsettles the dressing room a little bit. Oh shit! Fucking Queefin wants to go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, could before the match.
Because I think I heard that on Wednesday or Thursday of last week. That he came out and said that he's looking for a move in the summer.
Liverpool do score in the 94th minute, but here's the funny thing: even after that, Nick got upheld. Well, VA initially was called offsides, but VAR found that he was onside,
and rightly so.
Absolutely onside.
100%.
Good use of it for once.
No shit.
But even after that, Newcastle just saw it out comfortably.
Pretty much.
That's the thing.
Also had chances. They had 1 or 2 chances as well.
That's the thing about this match that I think is so definitive for, obviously, for the Magpies. Like, the cup is the cup. It does not matter how you do it. It does not. But that match was fucking convincing.
Oh, yeah.
That score line is not representative of the match. Newcastle played Liverpool off the pitch, and that's the best fucking team in Europe, arguably the world right now.
So there was 8 minutes, right? About 5 minutes prior to Chiesa's goal, and about 2 minutes after his goal, so maybe 3. There was more time in the game after that, but for those 8 minutes, Newcastle panicked.
And that was it.
They got nervous. They let in, obviously, this goal from Chiesa, and Liverpool had a couple of chances. Nick Pope did make a save. There was a couple of corners, I think maybe 1 or 2 corners. I think Nick Pope pushed something wide that was already wide just to be sure kind of thing. If somebody made a block that didn't need to be made, just to be sure it was out of bounds, But Newcastle got drug into being nervous for that 8-minute stretch. Something happened. It was a bit of a goalmouth scramble, but not that bad. And someone, kind of cleared the ball about 30 yards out. Grimaresh or whoever turned and passed to somebody else. And then Newcastle were like, oh, fuck. We've been better this whole time. Yeah. Let's be better again. And then Liverpool maybe got the ball across half field 2 more times total.
That was it.
The final 5 minutes. And it was awesome. They played the corners brilliantly. They played the throw-ins brilliantly. Just bang it off somebody and fucking get it. Hold it as long as you can. Do this, that, the other. They almost scored as well. I love seeing Joe Willett get into it. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome.
And they get to lift a domestic trophy for the first time since 1955. So
70 fucking years.
pretty fucking incredible.
It's good, man.
And
that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
It's what it's all about.
Hey, Liverpool fucked off 2 cups. 2 things. Maybe they fuck off a third. Maybe.
Don't start that shit. Don't rope me into that.
I like to put that little bit of hope inside of you.
No, don't rope me into that.
You know?
Hey, the positive thing is it's St. Patrick's Day today. Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody listening as well. Obviously very important in this parish of drinkers. But I've been drinking since 9:45. The last thing I need to do is be optimistic. Okay.
So when the Ice Cube hit, normally we go into a new segment. So I'm going to go.
Required.
Yes, producer.
Talk about your new shit.
I mean, no. I'll refrain. The bottom of the league was front and center this weekend as the 3 promoted clubs are hanging on by a thread and did nothing to help themselves this weekend. Wolverhampton 2, Southampton 1, Forest 4, Ipswich 2, Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. Wolves got the win they needed, and considering, without Cunha, they've gone out now and got 4 points in the last 2 games without Cunha. They're doing the job they need to do. They now find themselves 9 points clear of the final relegation zone.
Yeah, so barring City getting something amazing, like a 90-point deduction or 80-point deduction or 60-point deduction, I think this result seals, coupled with Forest, seals the relegation.
Yeah.
I think the 3 that are there now are the 3 going down. But if we need to talk specifically about each team, Southampton are shit. They're just shit.
How you like number 1 overall getting that brace?
Well, they played 16 minutes very, very well. Kept some pressure on Wolves. Tried to not mathematically relegate themselves. And then Strand Larson scores on some of the most schoolboy defending I've ever seen in terms of a pass to the wing, cross the ball, big guy head ball. There's nobody within 5 yards of the crosser or the header.
You know what they call that? Motherfucking Dan Burn special.
They call it terrible is what they call it. At least Alexis McAllister had a hold of his cock at least.
Right. No.
But it's just, if you're going to defend that poorly, if that's what you're going to turn up with, just don't bother, man. Just take the 3-0 loss and fuck off.
Well, and also,
I'm sick of it. It's
Strand
terrible.
Larson's second goal, they gave him way too much room.
Same. Again.
Like, you
He
give
had time to control,
you give
turn.
striker that amount of time, he's going to score. He's going to score every fucking time.
Took a deep breath, waved to his mom in the stands.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Here's the thing
Absolutely fucking terrible.
Here's the thing now for Southampton.
And then their goal was also fucking lucky as fuck.
Southampton could find themselves eliminated in 2 more fixture rounds.
Yep.
So we come back, and then there's midweek games right around the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and then the 5th and 6th, there's the weekend action. They could be officially relegated by April the 6th. That's how bad they've been this year. And again, Graham, I keep looking at the schedule, right? Because if they were going to be better than Derby County, the team just outside of the relegation zone in your building is the game you have to fucking win, right?
Yeah.
If you're Southampton and you're going
That's
to
who
make a
you're
stand,
chasing. That's the 6th corner you need.
You have to win that game.
Especially when Cunha is out. Their best player is out. Wolves without Cunha, right? Mm-hmm. Or, if in case you need a comparison, are Chelsea without Palmer if you bought Chelsea on Wish.
Fair enough.
It's a shit version of a decent thing without the best part about it.
And here's the other thing for Wolves, too. In that same fixture time, they get Ipswich. So Wolves could be dead free and clear. I mean, not mathematically clear, but I feel they're already fucking clear.
Well, but that's the thing, right? I talked about it the last couple of weeks, like with Arsenal and Liverpool on the other side of this. They're mathematically in a parabola. The line shouldn't touch the border of the thing ever. But we have to draw with a pencil that has thickness, and I can see it with my eyes. So touching. Even though the math says there's distance, there isn't distance.
Yeah,
it's done.
Precisely.
It's over.
So the Tractor Boys got forested, as we like to call it.
Man.
And they got forested by Alenga, who scores 2 goals on 2 counterattacks. I mean, the scoreline does
but
this
2
no
brilliant
justice.
fucking goals, though.
It was 3-0, and there was before Ipswich even showed any impetus in the match.
Yeah.
It was done and dusted already, and Alenga.
And it's 2 brilliant results in a row for Forest as well. Storyline wise, it's fucking phenomenal for
if
them.
it's not Wood, it's Alenga. If it's not Alenga, it's
Hudson-Odoi.
And if it's not Hudson-Odoi, it's Gibbs White. And it is always the same fucking thing. Anderson wins a ball in the middle of the field, quick transition on the go, boom, back of the net, and you're standing there going, what the fuck happened?
So all of that being said, Milinkovic got the opener in ridiculously surprising composure for a center back.
A striker's finish by a center back.
It's ridiculous. Ball got flicked to him. He thighs it down with his left foot, presumably his off foot.
Yeah.
And then absolutely first time full volley rifles the ball with his right foot into the far left corner. It's phenomenal.
Typically, when a center back scores a goal like that, it's like Tarkovsky. It's like smash back net. Yeah, not a gentle touch off your thigh.
Gorgeous,
just beautiful.
When center backs score, you think of John Madden's commentary in The Replacements in that movie. He was like, I love a celebration from a fat guy.
Yeah,
that kind of whole line of stuff. Because they're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be doing it,
Smash with a head or smash with a foot, but it's never nuanced. It's never poised.
No.
This was absolutely a striker's finish.
I mean, even one of the most famous center backs being not where they're supposed to be situations was that the Tony Adams call. I think it might have been against Newcastle, might have been against Liverpool. Don't remember. But years and years and years and years ago for Arsenal. And the commentator, the ball got passed to him, and the commentator goes, "Oh, it comes to Tony Adams. What's he doing there?" Yeah, because he was at the edge of the 18 when he received the ball. I was like, "You're a fucking center back, mate," And that's what happened with old Milinkovic
and
there. It was fucking great.
The 2 counterattack goals from Alenga, and like you said, just gorgeous finishes,
phenomenal finishes. But the ruthlessness of the counterattack is what impressed me. 3 touches, Alenga's in the box, essentially.
It's what Nuno's Forest does. They do this constantly to you.
The efficiency in which they move the ball down the field is what amazed me so much. And Alenga, I mean, the composure, kiss it off the inside of the post on one of them. It's just amazing to see. It's just amazing to see. And somebody's always stepping up.
And it wasn't until like 80th minute when finally Ipswich score. And they get 1. And then within moments, Forest do it again. Another quick counter boom back of the fucking net for the 4th goal.
Yeah, but the Alenga's second that put him up was really poor defending. Route 1 stuff. I mean, I think it took 1 extra touch from the goalkeeper to get it to Alenga, maybe. And then I think he took 1 more touch before he rifled in the back of the net, which was pretty ridiculous. I think Coste, I don't know his name. When he drew his one back, I think that was the first meaningful attack Ipswich had all day.
It was. It really was.
Really?
Again,
they had never really threatened Matt Sells at all.
This scoreline does not
remember.
do any justice to the fact that this was a complete domination by Forest in Ipswich's building.
And then, like you said, again, right after that, I mean, not long after, Jota Silva made it 4-1.
From assist from Gibbs White.
Kept it moving.
And then they got one more late, but it was just like we just talked about with Southampton. This is not a game you expect to win necessarily, but it's a game you expect to make it tough.
Yeah.
Right? Forest normally scores on a lot of counterattacks, so be weary of that. But slow down the game, make them have to possess. If you make them have to possess, you might be the one getting the opportunities. But instead, they just played
Tepid.
right into their hand.
This place so tepid.
Okay, so this is what Forest is going to do. Let's let them do exactly fucking that. And it's just, and you look at all of this and you're like, okay, so here's our chance to do something, because every year we think of, like, Everton surviving or Forest surviving. They found ways to survive. Like,
even Luton found ways
matches,
to make it difficult
in matches you're not supposed to win, like beating Chelsea at home, beating United at home. Like, you figure out a way to do something, and they did nothing. And then let's go ahead and take it one step further. Speaking of a team that does nothing, fucking Leicester. It got manhandled by a team that has been playing like utter and complete shit.
Now,
they made United look fucking brilliant.
At home as well.
Yeah.
What I will say is Onana did have to make more saves than I thought he would. But it still didn't tell the tale of the match. The match was all Manchester United, really. There were a couple of opportunities for Leicester, but it was United through and through. I got it wrong, and I'll start that right here. I said it a couple of weeks ago as well. Leicester have more Premier League experience in their side than either of the other two teams that came up, and I thought they were going to do something. They were obviously either hurt or lost interest or whatever when Enzo Maresca left in the summer.
Hired the wrong manager twice.
They hired the wrong manager twice, and that's difficult. But at the end of the day, you're a professional, and you should be worried about your own status, and you should be just going, come on, lads. Let's get this done. Yeah, let's at least give a good account of ourselves. And then going, Jamie Vardy, you think he has a problem knocking on the owner's door and going, fucking, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't have an issue with that at all. So be professional, do your fucking jobs, and then have those conversations in the background.
And also,
because
one man
this
can't carry a fucking team.
This is unacceptable. The last sentence I wrote here, and I'm going to end with this because it's not even worth talking about, is what I thought was the team with the best chance of doing it, staying up, that is. Just don't fucking care enough to.
Yeah.
This is the whimper that we saw from Norwich a couple seasons ago. I'm kind of over Leicester and Southampton. I'll keep talking about Ipswich because it's been so long since they've been there, and they are trying to stay up, albeit they have a championship squad and there's no getting around that.
Right.
But I'll talk about them because it's been 20 years since they've been there. So well, let's let them have their time. But Leicester and Southampton, I'm just kind of over it, dog. I just don't even give a fuck.
So one final question for you, and this will be more towards United. Obviously, Bruno has quietly had himself a good year. Garnacho and Højlund score. Oh, my God. Actually, kind of a double question. How much do we read into this, if anything at all? And the second thing is, Is Bruno the building block for this team moving forward?
For United? No. Both parts of that. No, don't read anything into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That would be exactly my thought. Think nothing of this.
No, don't do that. Bruno being the building block is a bit rich, obviously, and I clocked it and I saw it happen before my eyes. United were 2-0 up and going strong, and I think it was Garnacho right before he got subbed off, miscontrolled something, and ball goes out for a throw-in kind of, halfway between the center line and the corner flag. Kind of, 25, 30 yards from goal kind of thing. And Bruno runs towards the situation, setting up the defensive set for United for this throw-in, and he claps Garnacho like this and just waves him like, go fucking just defend. Last week, something similar happens. United are under pressure. Bruno screams at Garnacho, does his fist like this, kind of thing. But being a leader is being a leader all the time.
Not some of the time.
Not some of the time. So if you're going to be a Martin Odegaard, if you're going to be a, or a taskmaster like Jordan Pickford, for instance, where you just scream at everyone. Mm-hmm. I don't really ever see, it may just be a camera thing, but I don't really ever see him clapping anyone.
No.
It's just screaming when they fuck up. So you can go either way, where Odegaard's always happy, Jordan Pickford's always sad. Right?
Don't be one or the other.
Yeah. Fernandez just seems to pick and choose when things are going, well, I'm going to be a happy guy. Mm-hmm. Do I think they're going to build the team around him? No. He's also 30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, for the Ratcliffe, he's cheaper.
Is there?
Because he's 30.
Sometimes just let you end on that. That's the place to end. Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened. Brighton 2, Manchester City 2, Brentford 2, Bournemouth 1, Everton 1, West Ham 1, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, Fulham 2, Spurs 0. Brighton City was the best match of the weekend.
I said that in here also. If it wasn't for 70 fucking years of heartache and overturning that, this would have opened the show.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
This was a great game. There was disallowed goals and everything. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Estupion's free kick, planting Ortega to his line and kissing off the inside of the post fucking gorgeously.
Yeah.
Oh, mates. Another Kavashnov, what's his name? Shit, the own goal guy.
Yeah.
Young kid.
Yes.
Feel bad for him.
Becky.
Yeah, this one wasn't his fault. I feel bad for him, even though it was rated an own goal for him. But the thing had everything. Marmouche, phenomenal counterattack, called out for offsides. Then goes down the other end early in the second half, I think it was, and absolutely rifles a hole in the back of the net. Mm-hmm. And it stands. It was brilliant. Just end-to-end stuff. Everybody had chances. Everybody made saves. Everybody made mistakes. It was fucking glorious.
I'm very intrigued to see
Kuzanov is his name.
What Pep does with this team next year, because you can't necessarily have Marmouche play a wing, which is because the way Pep likes to run things is a dead-out striker, the 3 midfielders in control, and then 2 wingers. And you can't leave Marmouche on you're going to need to slide him in
Marmouche
behind.
is De Bruyne's replacement.
Yeah, but you're going to have him playing, but even in a more advanced role. So does that mean you sacrifice more in the middle of the field to let him be up more and still keep your wings?
I think that's part of City's problem at the moment is because De Bruyne's legs have gone, he can't play him further up, which I think is a chink in the armor anyway.
Yeah.
So if you get Rodri back, obviously, to base that midfield, and Nico Gonzalez is now supposed to be a Rodri replacement, should he not be the same player or they need to, kind of change the game a bit.
I wonder, do you
Marmouche is a bit further up anyway.
Again, changing Pep's style. Does he play two holding guys, let his wingbacks really get up the field, let Marmouche stay in a very advanced role just off of Holland, and then have two wingers, be it Daka, Savina, whoever it ends up being, but let those guys, right,
whoever
let them,
it is,
all do their thing. But again, all of this, everything I've just mentioned, is something that never fucking happens. Pep Guardiola changing his system. He may have to change his system.
But he may be gone.
Yeah, who knows?
He may leave. Like we're in unprecedented territory with Pep, which is he's now been here longer than any other job he's ever had.
Yeah, true.
So we not really sure what we get. And again, when he left Bayern, he ended up fucking on holiday on a sabbatical for a year in New York City.
Right.
And ended up coaching some kids in a warehouse. Like,
right.
We don't know what to expect from Pep, honestly.
True.
This mid-season rebuild seems to be kind of ticking along here a bit.
Yeah.
It's still not great, but it's better than it was 3 weeks ago.
Looking at what everybody else is doing, you're kind of like, the fourth spot's there for the taking.
Yeah, big time it is. And this summer, who knows how they invest. But they could also say, you're only giving us a year?
Yeah, precisely.
We're not letting you spend this money.
Right.
We'd like you actually to retire.
Yeah, we'd rather figure out who the new manager is.
We're not going to fire you.
Yeah.
We're not going to fire you. Here's, $18 million on the table to say you're just leaving. But I don't know. We're kind of in a weird spot with Pep and City. I don't know really what to make of it yet.
And not for nothing, the Seagulls, obviously, we've talked about since they had the bad loss. They've been on fire. But they've really had City's number. And after that own goal, the rest of the match was just...
Get my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, it was all fucking Seagulls. I was waiting for it to be 3-2.
They should have won the game. Yeah.
Absolutely, they should have.
They should have won the game.
At fucking City.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's at fucking City.
But that's part of my point.
Owned them.
That's part of my point. Pep's substitutions hurt his own team.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Brighton could end up being the Champions League's team.
Could.
They really could.
Could.
Like, they really, really could. Obviously keeping this kind of run is hard to do, right? There's, and we'll get to other teams that have had a really good run, but even there, like,
don't pop that cherry yet. Wait till we get there.
Eventually it comes to an end, right? Eventually it comes to an end. But really, like, the Seagulls have got just as much of a claim for that fourth spot as Newcastle and Villa, and I mean Bournemouth's fading, and there's plenty. They've got as much of a claim as anybody else fucking does. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
Another road win for the Bees, the team that at the start of the season was dreadful. Absolutely fucking dreadful on the road, have now won 5 fucking matches in a row on the road.
And Bournemouth, who have made the Vitality a fucking fortress all season, couldn't figure this one out.
It's funny.
And they had their full complement of players as well. Evan Nilsson's back from injury. You spoke about him last week as well. He's fully back, started this game, and they couldn't get it done.
And that's
the
what's
worst part
crazy
about this,
we thought like, okay, like they could run out of steam because of all the injuries, and they excelled from it. And now that they're getting healthy, it's like
they're falling short.
What the fuck, guys?
So this is one of those kind of riding momentum and riding form things. Like, oh, my first choice is back. Do I start him? Do I not? He's doing well. This happened to Leicester a couple years ago when Patson Daka burst onto the scene, and Jamie Vardy was injured for a bit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Daka had that 4 spot in the Europa League or whatever it was, and then went on and scored 4 or 5 Premier League games in succession. And then Jamie Vardy's fit again, and Daka's on the bench. Vardy's a touch rusty. You just hurt Daka's confidence.
Right.
Nobody then scores the rest of the season kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's that sort of situation. I don't know what it is, but they absolutely fucked me. I'd get it out of the way now for sure money. I lost again on I think it was 8 or 9 way parlay. Because I had Bournemouth or draw. I did a double chance. I had 2 opportunities to win this part of the bet, and I fucking didn't because Bournemouth shit the bed again at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really pisses me off. It was a decent game, though. I mean, it was pretty end-to-end. The highlight package, I don't think, did it justice. Based on the stats that I looked at. But really, it was kind of devoid of real chances, actual shots on target until close to the second half, if not into the second half.
Right.
It was kind of teams feeling each other out and not sure where they are on the table. They're all kind of fighting for who might be in Europe thing, kind of doing the old dance, like who's going to draw first. You know what I mean? And it just smacked of 8th versus 9th in this new system. This is the old 5th versus 6th.
Yeah,
Song and dance where
Exactly.
they're kind of tooling around for a bit.
I wonder now if for Bournemouth the thought process is we're focusing on having City in our building for the FA Cup. I wonder if that's what it is.
It could be.
And I mean, I give them every chance to win that game, by the way. Give them every fucking chance to win that game. No doubt about it. And on a side note, I mean, I'm rooting for them to get to Europe. I want to see this. Like,
same.
of all the clubs that are fighting for it, this is because the rest of them have been to Europe. I'm actively rooting. I'd like to see the Cherries be in Europe next year.
Oh, it'd be pretty cool. It was like when Wigan had to host people.
Yeah.
In the Europa
It's
League.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. No,
While in the
into that.
championship.
Yeah.
While in the championship.
Right.
Yeah.
But similar size stadium, similar size, that kind of. I'm in for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it just,
The one part, the asterisk I don't want to put on that makes me angry is Eddie Howe obviously had a part in a lot of what Bournemouth's doing. He doesn't deserve 2 things. So one thing I'll say to that.
very good. Exactly what we fucking expected between Everton and West Ham. I mean,
Fuck off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Your match was more of a fuck off than my match. My match at least had shots and saves and kind of interesting things. Yours had a goal, nothing else, and your goalkeeper almost fucking it off. That's basically what your match was. So, but we're going to get to that in a moment, and I don't want to talk about it now. So,
But he didn't.
Yeah, that's the highlight of your match. Okay, great. We've talked about your match. Now we'll go ahead and move on to Everton and West Ham.
But he didn't. It's about all I got.
I got to hang out. I went up to the Abbey in Fells and hung out with Scotty and the Baltimore
Nice.
Hammers.
Awesome.
As always, a gracious fucking group. Awesome fucking people. Had a wonderful time. And I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Napkin.
No napkin. I don't have a napkin.
No napkin.
Okay. Thanks. Shouldn't have been that hard.
I thought he was asking for a tampon.
I'll reset. So was up at the Abbey in Fells Point with all of the Baltimore Hammers. Scotty and the boys, as always, very gracious. The interesting match in the regards of how the goals happened. You think of West Ham getting the lead, and at that point too, West Ham were really kind of pressing the issue. Interesting that it was Souček kind of doing that, what Souček does, kind of Johnny on the spot kind of goals, and then turn around and Everton find the equalizer late in the match on Jake O'Brien. Now 2 goals in 3 games, and good that Dyche didn't see any value in him playing at all, not one bit.
Right, which makes you question, and would make you question moving forward if Dyche wants to get another job.
Right.
What his capabilities as a scout and manager are.
Well, it was Thelwell bought the players, and Dyche was just like, yeah, I'm not going to use them.
Well, yeah, so it's just him being a cunt, though, is what I'm saying. Like, there's obviously a player there. Since he's been playing, he's scored, 3-4 goals now?
2, but
Since
2 and 3
Moyes took over.
Yeah.
But maybe contributed in an assist capacity.
Well,
he's been...
And also then Beto scoring a bunch of goals since Moyes has come
In the unbeaten run that you've had, Jake O'Brien and Beto have featured heavily. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Fine.
Now...
But I would worry for Dyche for the rest of his career. But what I would say about David Moyes is this is everything from this Everton performance. This is everything that Smokey hated about West Ham.
Oh, God, yeah.
Under David Moyes.
Oh, yeah.
It was soak up pressure, wait for your opportunity, hit him on a counter, retreat immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the most quality chances did fall to Everton overall.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think Everton tend to deserve to win the game. But they did play at times anti-football.
And
as Mourinho or Guardiola or whoever it was called it.
Yeah.
For times, they played anti-football.
Very simple for Everton. They are starting to get healthy, which is nice. Broja and Chermiti both got minutes, and there's people coming back. There's a good chance.
And spare a fucking thought for the one of the greatest first-time passes I've ever seen in my life, though. Right.
Oh,
O'Brien's header was great. Yeah, good. Idrissa Gana a defensive midfielder, getting a ball that was hit 40 yards in the air, 40 yards left of himself to meet that while wearing pants with an instep cross that was a bullet to big old Jake O'Brien's forehead.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic.
Here's the big one for you there is I've said this 100 times and I'll say it 100 more. Idrissa Gana maybe pretty fucking good at what he does, right?
Yeah.
Like, really fucking good at what he does.
But that's not what he does. And he's also good at that. That's what I'm saying. Like, fucking Gana is awesome.
What a snoozer of a match for Arsenal and Chelsea.
Bro.
Hey, you got the win, move on. But that's one of those games as a supporter, you got to be going, how do we not win that 1-2-3-0?
So what we should have won 2-0. The Mikel Merino, which was the second best side-footed volley of the weekend, didn't go in because Robert Sanchez actually decided to save a ball. Other than that, David Raya almost fucked up a Cucurella volley. There wasn't much else in the game.
Yeah, that was it. And
what I will say, though, real quick, is about the refereeing, because that needs to be talked about. The stamp should have been a red card.
That's really the only highlight of it is that should have been a red card.
And Cucurella's arm should have been a penalty.
And then I wonder, but you also wonder then, too, is we've talked about this multiple times. You look at reviewed plays like that, you got to figure out a way to be able to also hand out a yellow, because then you're looking at it as is it a clear and obvious he needs to be sent off, or is it at least a yellow? Like, just like when we talk about where it's not a penalty, then there should be a yellow for diving, but there isn't. Like, again, they need to change that part of the system.
The penalty shout from me, Cucurella moves his arm towards it, should have been a penalty. Wasn't. That was more blatant than Declan Rice kicking the ball away, who this was the same official when that happened.
Yep.
Anyway, so the officiating was the star for me in this game, which is super annoying, and I fucking hate it, and I don't like it, but it was absolutely incorrect on multiple occasions, and Arsenal still came through with a cross shot.
So just
a flick on that wasn't meant to be a shot.
So just when you think Fulham is kind of out of it, then Fulham goes and does this. Fairly even first half. It was all fucking Fulham in the second, and they deserved the win. It just seemed to take them a while to score, and when they scored, it was done.
That's it. The turning point is the goal, right? How many times do we say this game's like, it's getting cagey, it's getting weird. We don't like it. This game needs a goal. It needs a fire lit under the other team's ass to do something. Spurs weren't really going forward. I don't remember, even from the highlight package, I don't remember Berlin having to make many saves.
Yeah.
Finally, you saw the play that happened, and Muniz, who came in for Raul Jimenez, score quite a soft goal,
Right.
in my opinion. And you saw the Spurs players just deflate,
And it was done.
and it was over. Once that goal went in, it was done. Normally, when we say the game needs a goal, it spurs it on. It gets it excited. It draws this team out and allows more space. And this is going to be so much fun. Spurs just didn't show up again.
Really, the one thing that's worth mentioning is Muniz, Brazilian. Did you notice? The hair's blonde now.
Oh, he wants to transfer.
Sure money.
He wants to get a fucking.
The minute I saw that blonde hair, I went, somebody wants out of Fulham.
North Africans and Brazilians.
The minute you see that blonde hair, they want the fuck out.
They want to move. That's how it goes. I am now down 2,700 because Bournemouth cannot sort their shit out. Do you want to tell me how much you're down now?
I'm not down. I'm up. Remember, unfortunately, though, Bournemouth was my demise as well. But I'm still up $1,113.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know that 29.6296296% of the time works 100% of the time? A little bit of a pattern in there. It was pretty good. Obviously, no bets this week because we're going into the international break. So this time we will remember to do our bets on TikTok like we didn't do the last international break. Mr. Graham, that's going to wrap it up. Got any parting words for us?
No, not really, except for happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone as we record this tonight. Hope you all filled your glasses with a lot of the black stuff and a wee bit of the brown stuff. Hope you had a good one. Hope you're safe. Hope everybody finds themselves well. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks then.
Excellent. Yes. And for a programming note, everybody, we are going to take the next 2 Mondays off. We're going to do a show on Thursday because there's midweek games. That'll be April the 3rd. And then we will turn around and do one on Monday. We will recap the FA Cup in the EFL show on that Thursday, as we are prone to do. And beyond that, we're next up, we're going to do the EFL show. And then we are going to do Injury Time. And should somebody want to find Injury Time, Mr. Graham, one more time, how'd they go about doing that?
Patreon.com/Steve Football Show. Just sign up at $1 $5 tier. You get all the extra content that we do. That includes Injury Time, as Sanders talked about, and Sound Check, which is our actual sound check. And it's a lot of fun. Catch up with a lot of personal stories from our lives and shit like that, which this week in particular was a fucking good one. So buy it. I promise you'll enjoy.
You're welcome. Till 2 weeks from now, everybody.
Guten Nacht.